contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the World Heavyweight
Podcast.
Nerds!
Entering the ring at this time, your tag team champions of the podcast world, Howard Farewell.
But we're just waiting for the wheels to fall off.
Yes, 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 yes.
Because it was forming this pool of dark blackness in my soul.
Josh Rivera.
God does not want this podcast to happen.
You happy I brought my shovel to bury this segment?
What station is it again? Who gives a fuck?
Yabba dabba, shut the fuck up.
The World Heavyweight Podcast. Look at that, Josh. Wait. That is right. Look at that. How about that? Feels like a real show now. Feels like we know what we're doing. Long overdue on the new intro as well. Hope you guys like it. And Shinsuke Nakamura is #1 contender. Welcome again to the welcome. Man, these are hot mics today. I gotta lower that a whole lot. Welcome again to the World Heavyweight Podcast at the WHPC on Twitter, Facebook.com/World Heavyweight Podcast, Twitch, Instagram. Search it all. Like us everywhere, please. It helps us out more than you can possibly know. We're trying to bring everything to you for free. So if you could, when you subscribe, go to iTunes, make an account, just leave us a 5-star review. It really helps.
Use iTunes.
Yeah.
So just hit that 5 stars.
Yeah, I agree. Just do it. Helps us out. Helps everybody out. Shinsuke Nakamura is #1 contender, folks. The fact that there's any bitching on Tuesday nights.
Gone.
I don't know. People are bitching on over SmackDown for some reason, and I don't know why. Let's bring you down, Shinsuke. I love you so much. Shinsuke!
I have nothing to complain about Tuesday night.
People have lots to complain about from Tuesday night, apparently. There are some salty motherfuckers out there. I don't know why. I really don't. I have thoroughly enjoyed SmackDown. Or I could understand maybe not being completely invested in some things on SmackDown. I'm not either. But like the Aiden English and Sami Zayn stuff or something like that, I still enjoy that though. That was pretty decent. It wasn't that bad.
It's getting over quite well.
He is a boo magnet now. How that was
He's the boo magnet of SmackDown, whereas the Drifter is the boo magnet of Raw.
Right. And then they're gonna make a boy band together.
Yeah, your job is to boo those guys. Just do it.
Oh man, yeah, exactly. He is supposed to. This is his time. Stop booing him. I'm also amazed. Let's. All right, so. To kind of bring everything up to speed from last week, we now have lots of things coming together. NXT, the Brooklyn Takeover show, becoming much more filled out. We kind of know who #1 contenders are. Same thing for SmackDown. Same thing for Raw. The only thing that I'm sort of confused about for Monday Night Raw this week is why was that the main event? We had Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and
Braun Strowman.
And sorry, I blanked for a second. Because it's just staggering to think that that's not the main event.
Because if I told you that not only would they break up Enzo and Cass, but they would be on main eventing Raw shortly after that, you would told me I was crazy.
Probably, yeah.
Because that's exactly what they did instead.
Yeah, I don't know what that one was all about. Don't get me wrong. I know Big Cass can be a superstar here, but it feels a little out of place when you have 3 guys vying for Brock Lesnar. and they're not on as the main event for that show. I understand that
And
they were.
there was Brock this week, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was Brock. A surprise
Wow. Yeah,
Brock has appeared.
It started
Started with
in the
Brock.
show.
I'm like, Kurt's kind of rushing through this. It feels like this segment can't be or yeah, give me some Brock. That's what I want. Give me that Brock Lesnar. Brock
He was hoping Brock would take his sweet time coming to the arena tonight. He's like, I can't get this shit out of the way.
Well, the interesting thing there is if Brock loses,
He's gone.
he says bye-bye. He's got John Jones to start thinking about. I guess.
I got some time to take off.
I have a cycle to go through to get ready for a John Jones fight.
I'm almost I'm almost clear from my suspension.
That's true. That's the other big thing, though, outside of the world of WWE, but in the Brock world, is John Jones comes back after like 2 years of being out of the octagon and reclaims his light heavyweight championship, pretty much cementing himself as the greatest light heavyweight champion of all time, which was the huge story going into that. And there were people making fun of Daniel Cormier.
Really?
Yeah. For crying in the ring.
Hey, he just lost his championship. His career just came to a close, probably.
Most likely.
You know, I
don't
see him fighting ever again.
And here's the thing, because of the whole story going into that people get so wrapped up in like wrestling and fantasy and stuff like that they forget that the story going into this fight, it's real. Like, that's this man's life that we're talking about. It's a great story, but it's also real. Like, this man has been the champion for 2 years, and there's only one man that he never beat. And he never beat that man to get that title. And he is, at the time before the fight happened, the number 1 or number 2 greatest lightweight champion of all time. But there's always been that question. John Jones, can he beat him? Turns out he can't. And now he has to live with the fact that he's not the greatest champion of all time forever.
He just lost against a 32-year-old who is going to keep doing this for several more years.
And it's you now have to swallow the pill of I'm not the greatest.
Yeah.
I'm one of the greatest.
His career may not bounce back. So that's why a grown man cried on TV.
He's old. He's older in age. He's 38. You don't really fight too much longer after that, anyway. And that was it was a legacy-defining moment, and his legacy was not the legacy that he wanted, and that hurts that's a pride killer, dude. He got humbled, and that's what happens when you work your entire life and you see. His dreams were shattered in front of his face. Like, the man deserves to have a crying moment for the love of God.
The man lost hard.
Much respect, though.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he stepped into the ring and went 3 rounds like that with a killer. Do you see John Jones' legs? I would be crying if he kicked at me with one of those. Because he gets kicked, like, what was it? Ortel was watching with us. He's like, I would just grab his leg. No, you won't. Those are rib-shattering kicks that he's throwing. And then if you grab his leg, he's like, you want to play that game? He'll choke you the fuck out. He's like, I wrapped you up now.
With his leg, he'll choke you out.
Pretty much, man.
The one that you grabbed.
So, but the big story at the end of that, besides the whole, him coming back after pretty much the Mike Tyson, where he's a young kid that gets up top and then kind of blows it.
Blows it really hard.
With blow.
I remember when he was suspended, it was like 2 days before his fight.
Yeah.
And they were able to pencil in, was it Silva, right, for that fight?
Yeah, for a different match, I think. Yeah, I think it was because they were supposed to fight.
But it was not for the championship because
there was a fight. He was supposed to have a fight just to show that he can get back in and and then he got fucked up again. It was bad. He had a very, very publicized downfall.
Yeah.
Huge. He lost a giant Nike deal. Like, it was the first big outside... It was the first big mainstream partnership with a fighter by a major company. And he lost all of it. It was like a $50 million deal.
God.
It was at least $50 million. I almost want to say 70 with Nike. And then right after that, he got popped with a DUI. And then it went on a free fall after that. He got popped for coke. He got popped for multiple infractions. Yeah, it was a mess for Jon Jones for a while. But the end of that is he says, "Hey, Brock Lesnar, if you want to see what it's like to get your ass kicked by a guy that weighs 40 pounds less than you, step into the octagon." I feel like that's a terrible idea for Jon Jones.
Absolutely not going to happen. I'm not sure UFC would sign Brock again after that last fucking
I don't know, man.
catastrophe.
Well,
where his loss was erased, his win was erased.
That's
like it
why.
never happened.
That's why I wouldn't want to be Jon Jones, because Brock's gonna Brock, and if he wants to do that again, he can do that. Take the fight. Take the essentially
take a ton of money.
Yeah, which he, because he's Brock, he'll get something which amounts to like an appearance fee. So he gets to show up. He gets paid for the fight, but even if the loss gets wiped away, the more he gets paid more for that appearance fee.
It doesn't look good to have fights wiped away by a company that's legitimate.
Right. You don't want to do that. I mean, if you want to have that fight and have it legit. But that's the thing. After it happens, like, you just have to not take the fight in order to make that not happen, because he could just do that again. He could say, "Oh, well, I want this money up front, and then I'll get whatever bonuses those are on the end." But if you can't touch that signing bonus thing, then he can just take drugs, get popped afterwards, say, "Fuck it, I don't care about the record. I beat that guy in the ring that night."
He'll do it again.
Right.
Like it's not at all not an option for Brock.
Yeah.
Brock's
gonna Brock.
That looks bad for a company
It does.
that prides themselves on being authentic and
being legit,
and having legitimate fights, and having these scrubbed over that bullshit makes no sense.
And it just it gives them a bad name if they do that again, and he does that again.
Vince, I'm sure, laughs his ass off.
Yeah, because he signed Brock. Well, Brock's gonna want to make some money.
Oh, he's gonna take them to the
match
cleaners. That's for damn sure.
I don't remember what Brock got last time, but he could make upwards of $20 million for that fight.
He got like $10 million in that Hunt. Oh, it was a Mark Hunt fight, right? Was it?
I don't remember.
I forgot. He took like $10 million plus bonuses.
Well, he gets it amounts to an appearance fee.
Yeah.
Because the UFC does these things where they get match bonuses, fight of the night bonuses, win bonuses, and stuff like that. But if you're caught in your post fight piss test, you don't get the fight win money. You don't get the match of the night bonuses or anything like that. Those are sacrificed to your opponent. But if you're making a $10 million appearance fee and those bonuses only amount to $2 million, I'm gonna take the $10 million, pee hot, and say fuck the extra $2.
Your hand movement is just like, I'm taking that $10 million.
I'm just $10 million. Yeah, what? Yes, please give it to me, all of it.
I don't care.
Goddamn, I'm gonna take a beating and potentially get knocked out. I'm taking $10 million and walking away. So anyway, that's what why Paul Heyman says what he says on Monday night. That's the only reason that happens, because it feeds into that. Is it a work? Is it real? Is it a work? Is it real? Of course it's a work. It's all a work.
It just means more freaking money.
Everything's a work.
Yeah.
Just everything's a work.
Everything is.
Twitter's a work. The websites that you read are a work. Everything's a work. Trump is a work.
You know what isn't a work?
What's a work?
How awful Jason Jordan's new music is.
Oh, there must have been a memo that went out in the last week to change everybody's intros and stuff like that, because
a couple things around,
everything got changed up a little bit. Some were good. Yeah. Some were bad.
Yeah. Some were weird, although let's just say.
I love just that one little tweak that we got this week with Seth Rollins.
burn it down. I'm like,
perfect. But it was perfect though, because it goes into that like sort of like metal or hardcore sort of little breakdown thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it was missing. I knew there was something. Like there was a vocal line needed in that song somewhere for us to go, oh, this is when we go to Moshville. Burn it down. Welcome to Moshville.
Something to pop the crowd, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody start tearing their chairs out and start fucking throwing fists in the front row.
Regardless of
Jason Jordan's terrible.
awful music.
Cass is kind of.
Miz is still the star of the entire segment. Like I can't believe where he said I can't even begin.
I
to
thought
tell
we were
you
going into
how
people's
much
music though too.
Well,
the Usos was great too.
Oh, fantastic!
Now that they have some vocal lines on there, which is I think it's them.
It's them.
It's
right?
them
doing their own lyrics.
Yeah, I love when a wrestler gets to do their own song. Like "Sexy Boy" is perfect. How great! As soon as I heard that, I'm like, and Bobby Brain sells. Look, he's even singing his own theme song. It's great. John Cena. Who else has their own? It's the Usos now. Cena definitely. Shawn Michaels definitely. Shawn Michaels is my favorite though. Like it's I'm cute and it's the worst. And he had a music. Oh, Tyler Breeze had his own.
Yes,
did his own. Well, not anymore. He doesn't. Like it's Brizongo. It's sort of there. Fashion Files. Dear Lord, so many things on SmackDown were great this week. But we'll go back to Jason Jordan. You're going to talk about Jason Jordan a little bit.
How hilarious was that Miz TV segment where he offers Jason Jordan the spot on the Miztourage, and Bo and Axel just looking at you like, come on, man, it's great. Look at this. Look how I'm dressed right now.
Yeah, why are you wearing that glove?
You are missing out.
Certainly are, sir.
Oh, what I have in the notes. Yeah, my notes were kind of...
The music was...
my notes were kind of all over the place.
Like,
yeah,
I'm not a fan of his
they did
music.
something with it.
He needed new music because he can't be a part of Enzo's thing, but I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I feel like they're 2 years behind everything. Like, they're always late into the game to pulling the trigger on stuff. Like, I'm okay with the Enzo-Cass split, but shouldn't they have won something? Shouldn't they? I don't know if...
who knows what the story's going to be. But, well, as far as...
but even then,
as
that
far
goes
as
with,
being late, you know, it was on the way over. What was really bothering you was the Awoken.
Yeah, they're at the point right now where if they don't pull the trigger in the next 2 weeks, don't.
You're no longer invested anymore.
I don't care any. It's been 6 months. It's been 6 months, and you've sort of been cock teasing me about it forever.
No, it's been far less than that. It's only been 4. WrestleMania was April.
May, June, July, August. 4 months. I'm sorry. Still.
Give it a little bit of time.
Still.
But yeah, I totally understand it. The amount.
Stop like half-assing it. They're like that's the ultimate of like they're not even half-assing it. They're like quarter-assing it on that one because they don't want to. For some reason, their legal team, who could just bury them in paperwork, doesn't want to get involved, and it's driving me.
I don't think the Hardys legal team can bury
maybe,
anybody in
but
paperwork.
either. But I mean, like the WWE is what I meant on that one.
But they're not getting involved at all. That's why.
My point is, it's like your court. Like you keep saying these things, and then you ham-fisted like, oh, I think something was awoken in the Hardys.
That bothered you.
Well, I don't know about that, but I have a premonition, Michael. Enough. Like, really? It's like, here's the story you want. Look, we're doing the thing.
It's like they're ribbing you. They're like, oh, guess what you're not getting?
It just,
this.
It's like, I'm not stupid. I'm not an idiot. You can tell the story like an adult. Even though it's the weirdest fucking story, it's the most ridiculous thing, but I'm not a moron.
They just do something different now.
I'm okay with the name change and everything, but don't just go at the Woken. You know what I mean? It just feels like you're You're treating me like an idiot.
That's
I
what
know,
they.
like,
That's what they want on
see,
Raw.
Oh, I see what you did there. It's like, no, I don't want to see what you did there. I want them
Just get
to
on with
do
it.
the crazy, goofy thing that we all loved and
Yeah.
say dilapidated boat and delete and all of these goofy things. Just let them do their thing and stop with this. I don't even know how to describe it other than ham-fisted. Like with the Michael Cole goofy sell to it. I'm like, stop. I don't need that.
It makes you go, yuck.
It makes me go yuck. Exactly. Ugh. But with that, it's like you're getting close to the time where it's taking too long. Enough of the taking too long. Just go with it. And they do this all the time. All the time. It's just like, oh, and then when they do it, it's already 2 to 4 months past where they should have been, and it should have happened months ago. Or they pull the plug too damn early, and now somebody's wallowed in the milk carton status.
Well, I think that's what it comes. That's what happens with their scheduling. Everything feels either way too early, or just missed the
way
boat
too
too
long.
late.
It takes forever to get
Forever
there.
to get there.
God damn it.
Well, yeah, I think. Well, that's 3 hours of TV every week. It takes forever to get there.
Yes, it does, sir.
You know?
'Cause it's mind-boggling.
You do an hour on Lucha Underground, and things fly by when you're watching that show.
Well, yeah, when you have an hour, it's a very different thing. You have to program it differently. You're able to have storylines extend for longer. When you have 3 hours of show, you need to either condense what you're doing and give one story a lot more time. The problem if you do that is you burn through a lot of story potentially too quickly.
Yeah.
But if you have 3 hours, there's no reason that I should only see
Ladies.
3.5 hours after the show is over.
Pretty much, like the second to last thing before they go off the air.
Yeah,
And a match
for like
that
20 minutes.
And a match that just didn't matter at that
Right.
point.
Like and that's what I mean. Like, why you have this time?
Yeah.
You burn through some of these things so fast that you barely have time to blink. You don't pull the trigger, or you drag these other things out too long. And at the same time, you somehow don't have these people on the show that you could be utilizing to fill those gaps.
Instead, your number one contender is possibly hurt.
Right.
Yeah, that's what comes
And
out
it's
of that.
just it. And there was a New Age Insiders tweet that was probably unpopular opinion of the night last night. The Raw women's division is kicking the SmackDown women's division's ass.
How?
Exactly. Well, and their argument was that they have a more well-defined champion fighting off stronger challenges, and the story is more tight around that championship, where SmackDown
It's the only
is
story,
a
though.
never-ending wheel of multi-women matches. And I get them on that point. I
But
completely
they're doing
agree.
tags instead of multi-women's. To make up for
but
that.
I agree with them on the multi-women match point, because we've made that comment on this show before.
Yeah.
That they've gotten to the point on SmackDown with the women where, all right, cool, well, we need some damn singles matches between some of these women, and we need some real defined feuds with the competitors there, because it feels like, and this, like I said, I agree with them. When we get out of those multi-women matches, we really haven't had a defined feud for the title since Naomi has had it. Because it's multi-women elimination match, multi-women fatal
these are
five-way
just to get
single
number
fall
one
match,
contenders. Multi-women for another contender.
or even the title when
She
we got the
loses.
title and stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that, but in doing that, when you have everyone involved, you have to now share the spotlight across instead of maybe focusing it a little tighter on some people and bringing out some real heat and maybe building some. So maybe we'll get that with Natty and Naomi coming up for SummerSlam, and then we can do some secondary stories there. But I on the other side of that, I prefer actually seeing all of the women on the show.
That's the side I sit on too. I was just like, you know what? It may seem like a little bit of a wheel of multi-women tag matches, but you know what? At least they're all on the TV. Like, As opposed to what? The 3 that we keep getting?
Three
we
much.
keep getting on Raw every week?
And why Mickie James is sitting you brought a 5-time women's champion back and you were using her really well, then you switched her to another show to not use her at all.
Yeah.
You have a Hall of Famer
she's probably
on your roster.
main event instead of doing other stories.
She should be in the women's main event almost nightly. There's no reason that even kayfabe, you can't deny Mickie James an upper tier shot at the women's championship on Raw, right? She's a 5-time women's champion and future Hall of Famer. Or is she a Hall of Famer already?
No, she's not a Hall of Famer.
Well, she's going to be.
She's going to be.
She's going to be She's going to be in the Hall of Fame. How you have a Hall of Famer on your women's roster and don't use her every single week is absolutely beyond me. I just don't understand that. You make such a big deal about them in every other aspect of your shows, so why don't you use the one you've got? Have
Look
her
on SmackDown Live, the one chick they have who know is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Boom, #1 contender.
Right. And you can there's so many things that you can do.
She had to wait a little while, but it came around to SummerSlam.
It's just silly that you should have to wait. Like, you have 3 hours. There's plenty of time for everyone. There should be, right?
Like, they should be telling some other stories. And like, what happened to Goldust ever since he his feud with R-Truth ended? Nothing.
Of course. I knew that was going to happen. I could have told you that was going to happen. As soon as I started seeing them getting like secondary treatment on Hulu cuts and stuff like that, I could have told you.
Well, it's because that's one of those feuds that was going to end on Raw, and I mean, it just sucks it got cut.
So, what else did we have down? Because the women, I definitely like. I mean,
U.S. title.
Yes, the U.S. title is my favorite thing in the world right now.
But you want to talk about killing time? Like, the going rumor is that it was going to be AJ versus not AJ. It was going to be
Kevin Owens
versus Shane. And they're pushing that even further now and making him a referee.
This is why I don't listen to the rumor mill 24/7. For all of you Twitter readers and if you live on Twitter for wrestling stuff, take a break from that a little bit. Take a break from that, because it's gonna hurt you a lot, and you start getting wrapped up into all these on paper rumors and things like that. So look what happened. We've been getting into some amazing
it's still gonna happen, but it's gonna take way further.
But I mean, but look at all the things that happened. Like, we had these great U.S. title matches. We start off the SmackDown show with a bang, and then we get this great match between the two guys that we really want to see. But some people are even bitching about that. I don't know how we're bitching about AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens nearly all the time in really great matches for a title that we really want to make meaningful again.
It's
that
just
they're succeeding
It's
with.
wonky finishes is what it is.
But they've all worked. Like, look at what happened post-match in that sequence right there. It was great. It was great. The whole backstage and everything.
This time, Owens is going, "Ref, I'm waving at your face. Stop counting."
Yeah, and they go to the look. You get he sees the replay. He yells at everybody. Yeah. He has the argument backstage. Regardless of how that match finished, whether you don't like it or not, all of the other stuff came together.
Yeah.
And it all worked out. So we shouldn't be really annoyed. We're getting AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. If you told me that a year ago, that was a fantasy, or 2 years ago, or however long it was ago, fantasy world did not exist, gave me the dreamy nerd boners in my sleep that we might be able to get to see something like this.
One day it's going to happen.
And we're living in that day right now, Joshua.
And all we're doing is complaining about it.
I'm not complaining about it.
This is great.
I love it. I want it all the time.
I didn't get it the first time around. The second time, I was like, oh, okay. I see where this is going.
You know what it is?
Good news, everyone.
That's what it is right there. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, United States Championship. Now with Shane as a referee, which I don't hate. Oh, this is way better. We moved here for a second, and this is immediately better. I think we might have to go and be more often, as silly as it sounds and as weird as this is. But look at I've got a low end here that's ridiculous. I don't know whether that's Anyway,
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know what.
I tell you what, that's kind of funny because the A studio it just sounds so. Come to the B show, and that's where it sounds way better. Way better show.
It almost looks like the right side is coming out a little bit. Anyway.
A little louder, right?
Anyway, it's at least a better computer for sure, that I don't have to worry about it freaking the hell out halfway through.
Oh, thank God. The
this
studio was a problem at some point.
I guess. I don't know.
You don't remember? I remember.
Oh, no, this one was a major problem for a little while, too.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, where are we going?
I just wanted to tell you that I was trying to look up news on Bailey injury, and a lot of it, who knows? It looks like it's a work.
It could be.
I mean, does it take days to get test results? I don't think so. Not for an injury.
Not for something like that.
They could find out really fast.
Yeah.
You're like, let me look at your X-ray. You fucked. It's kind of like that.
Or your MRI or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't take days.
No,
that's probably whatever.
But Fashion Files. Yeah, that's what we need to
talk about.
By the way, if you weren't a Twin Peaks fan, that probably wasn't hilarious.
None of it made any sense to anybody who had never watched that show before.
I've never watched that show, but I kind of knew that's what they were doing, and I knew a couple of things from the show, and I know there were a ton of people out there that were losing it over Fashion Files. I thought it was hilarious either way, because enough of the metaphor! Yeah. Great.
They were acting out a nightmare. Usually a scene that you use a lot of production for, and they use the bare minimum. They use lights in the same room that just turn color. Like, oh my God, there's a dream sequence. I can tell by the color of the lights.
The conspiracy wall again is yet again one of my favorite things. It's just so stupid and ridiculous that and the fact that the Ascension keep weaseling their way onto TV.
We ruled you out weeks ago. Why are you here again?
And he's pouring maple syrup on a log.
It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Hopefully, we'll get a dramatic conclusion by SummerSlam.
I want to hear Breezy's explanation for how he figured out it was whoever the mystery team is.
I should hope that's a SummerSlam match, right? Or leads
God
into
willing,
something at SummerSlam.
God willing, it's got to be some sort of story that should end before SummerSlam and mean a match at SummerSlam.
Yes.
Worst case scenario.
At least get to SummerSlam. Like Tully is frozen somewhere, or somebody steals the body. I don't know. Something ridiculous. It's whatever it's going to be. It's the Fashion Files, so it's going to be ridiculous. So, SmackDown. I don't understand why there were people actively annoyed at SmackDown last night, and I still.
But it gave you everything you wanted.
Well, I thought so.
That's what I thought.
I mean, we had the Fashion Files, we had Shinsuke, we had John Cena.
It started with a U.S. title rematch that everyone was looking forward to. Yeah, maybe it's the finish.
Usos came out and were awesome.
It's the finish with the ref bump, and then you just gotta accept that that's the angle this story is going on.
People were just calling I don't think people had any real joy for the Canellises, the Canellises.
But do they not get it?
I think that's what it is. I don't think people get it. And then people, we have a new opponent. Oh, by the way, before we even get into a new opponent, how great was Chad Gable versus Handsome Rusev?
What a wrestling match!
Hell yeah, that was a great little match out of nowhere. I'm like, Chad Gable. Everybody was making the jokes of when you wish you told everybody that Chad Gable was your son instead.
Right, he goes for the ankle lock, the triple belly to bellies. Or almost the triple they turned into a German at the end.
If he deadlifted Rusev into a German, I would have jumped out of my seat.
That second one, Rusev was just like, selling it so hard he was out of his egg.
Chad Gable's the man. I need more Chad Gable in my life. If I'm going to get that every night from him, I need Chad Gable way more than I need Jason Jordan, to be honest. I love them both, but if I had to choose, I'm choosing that guy right there because
we should have had a Jason Jordan match by now, but we didn't for some reason.
We've had Jason Jordan matches. We had a couple of them. He beat the shit out of Kurt Hawkins the other day.
Well, like a week ago.
Yeah.
We should have got one. I think we should have got one this week.
Didn't we? I thought we got one this week.
We didn't get one this week.
We got the Miz TV segment.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, that's what because that's why we didn't get a match, because we got Miz TV instead. That's why
That was
I'm
a
telling you.
terrible
That's
thing to
why.
do. That was a terrible thing.
I
to
thought
do.
he got over a little bit with it. His music isn't doing
That's
him
the only
any
thing that's
favors.
killing everything right now. Is that
His music is not doing him any favors. That's for sure. So yeah, the chat. Yeah, but we get Randy Orton versus Rusev, hopefully happening at SummerSlam, because it's another one of those things. When you're on SmackDown and you just say, I need competition, you better make sure you know who's in the building and who isn't dealing with other people. Because Randy is not busy with anyone right now, and he doesn't mind punching somebody in the face.
taking out all that rage that he can't take out on Jinder.
Exactly. So Randy is going to be against Machka, which is a relatively fresh matchup.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that in a long time, if ever.
If it's happened, we haven't seen it in quite some time, and I'm totally okay with it because it gives something brand new for Randy Orton. It gives us something brand new for we get to see Randy Orton and Rusev every week in a relatively key spot, right? I would
think
assume
so.
that this should be pretty good, and all they should do is kick the shit out of each other every week.
We might as well just start making a storyboard. Just a storyboard of all the stories on
We get our
SmackDown
own
Live and
fashion
how they
files
connect
board.
to each other.
Yeah.
And
The
then
flow
a
chart.
separate one, a separate chart for Raw,
And just see how many lines actually connect.
like we spend so much time just trying to tell everybody, like, look, there's some
good
great
things
there's some good stories on SmackDown. These are what they are. How cool can this be? Maybe because
There was a great little
different.
thing that came up on the Josta show this week. GuestDigitalNetwork.com. Use the promo code Josta. During one of the Warped Tour things, they got into wrestling for some reason, and he mentioned it's like there are so many people out there that don't even when they get caught up on everything, they don't actually get caught up in the wrestling part. They get caught up with all the other shit around it instead of what we should be paying attention to. And the stuff that's actually there on TV, it's like, oh, they don't like that because he should be doing this or that or the other. Well, he's not doing that. Let's
watch
try.
the show.
And I know I'm guilty of this. I've done this in the past. I'm trying real hard to not let things like that affect how I consume these products. But I try to do this. I try to just go with, hey, if it's on TV, that's the part that matters. All of those other things that are happening by some Joe Schmo freaking editorial blog website don't mean shit. You know why? Because it didn't happen on TV.
If it's not on TV, it didn't happen.
Exactly. And there's so much of us that get caught up in all that, and it can ruin how you watch.
It's tough not to fanboy out to the point where you're like, this would be fantastic. Don't worry about what could happen, just what is going to happen.
And it's okay to do that. I'm not saying don't do that. We all what if. We all think it would be cool to fantasy book and stuff like that too.
If it's just constant, like
if it becomes
the
too
entire
negative.
show, we couldn't help but mention a couple times Shinsuke Nakamura went over John Cena in a televised match. And it was phenomenal.
And then, now let's get into it.
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura is your number one contender.
Why are
for
we complaining?
The World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
But you get it
From the very beginning,
a world title.
They made it obvious. They made it very clear. Jinder was not interfering with this match.
He had terrible
He is in this
seats for the
skybox, way the hell up there with
You
the
know
Singh
what?
brothers.
I feel like the champion should get better seats than that.
That was a luxury box, sir. I don't know. What
that was way far away, sir.
It's called having a view.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's quite a difference when you watch it on TV and then you're actually there.
The only thing that I would have changed about that match, I would have liked it to be a little longer and a little tighter. That's all. It's a nitpick thing. Great match. It wasn't the greatest match in the world, but it wasn't the worst match in the world.
I feel like Cena could walk away from SmackDown after that match, but
I agree.
From what I'm reading, that's not the case. It's going to be a little while.
Well, we shall see, because that now leaves us with, first off, thank God he's walking. Because he took a nasty, what was the exploder?
Yeah.
He took, when Shinsuke sets him up with the exploder, he folds him in half.
Oh, yeah.
He folds him a few
He
times.
landed right on the back of his neck.
Well, everybody saw that and we're like, oh no.
Yeah, he didn't get full rotation on when he got dumped. He just went
Certainly
right
did not,
down.
sir. That was a little scary, and he seems to be okay. So we'll go with that. But we also have to now think about, where does John Cena go? John Cena can go wherever he wants. So that leaves him free to potentially challenge for the U.S. title, but that's
already kind
that's
of
situated. But now John Cena is left with an empty dance card walking into SummerSlam weekend. So it's going to be really interesting to see where Big Match John goes. He maybe where do you think he goes? He could show they are still going on with the fact that he's a free agent. They did mention that. He said that he can go wherever he wants. Do you know why? Because he's John fucking Cena.
exactly.
I would love to maybe see him. You know what? I don't know where you could fit him in nicely. I mean, you could just throw him to somebody, but like, where would you?
I don't think it's anybody else on SmackDown Live. It would have to be somebody on Raw.
That's what I was thinking. But who gets him on Raw? There's really no clear-cut number one contender for the Intercontinental title yet, right? Do they have that scheduled for us yet?
No, they
right?
don't.
We're still trying to,
Because they're still doing tag teams.
Yeah, the
with,
Miz, Taraj,
the
and Dean
Shield 2.0.
Yeah.
Still trying to work out the bugs.
so we're trying to. I like that whole story though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
That's what's just making it interesting.
I just feel like it's more about Dean and Seth than it is that anything the Miz Taraj are doing in that regard. So I would prefer to maybe see something where the Miz has to defend against somebody, because he hasn't really defended the title since that match against Dean, right? At the pay-per-view?
Yeah, since
The pay-per-view,
Battleground.
he hasn't had, and it's all just been up in the air. So I would like to see them have something on Raw
Absolutely.
to give us a number one contender.
I don't want the
match going
IC
into
to be
SummerSlam.
cooling down right now.
Right. Then that's the other thing. We have the U.S. title is so on fire right now. I've never been this. It's been a long time since I've been this excited over.
It's
the
been
US
at least
title.
a year.
It's been at least a year. I agree.
At least a
year since we've been really, really happy with what we're looking at on the U.S. title side of things. So I want them to bring the Open Challenge back, but we got to wait till SummerSlam's over.
I don't know. They could still do it with that leading up, but yeah, that does kind of kill any possibility in your brain of convincing yourself that somebody who answers the Open Challenge could win.
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. If you do it before
There's 3 weeks.
SummerSlam,
This is we're going into the 3-week stretch.
You
for
could have
SummerSlam.
3 cool matches, but none of those guys are winning.
Exactly.
Like
That's the
Chad
problem with
Gable
that.
could get another shot, but he's not winning. You could give, John Cena could challenge that and then win and then turn that into a triple threat at SummerSlam. I wouldn't put that past him. I wouldn't
Triple
mind
threat between who?
AJ,
Oh,
Kevin
AJ,
Owens,
Kevin Owens
and John Cena.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. If you told me there's a triple threat for the United States title with John Cena, AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens, I'm in.
Yeah. SummerSlam
I'm
has
good.
to be 2 nights now.
I'm
you can have them headline one night, and then you can have the Universal headline the second night.
Well, yeah.
Monday Night Raw. Sorry, that's getting shifted to Tuesday.
But that's what I mean. Like that sounds pretty good to me. Like, I'm okay with that. Have that be like the mid-card headline. Because you have 3 guys that could headline a pay-per-view in that match for a card that's not headlining any pay-per-views. For a match, or excuse me, for a title that's not headlining any pay-per-views anytime soon. And then it's just like, hey, let's just keep pushing that U.S. title up and up and up and up and up. And then Kevin Owens looking to make his plenty of things. NXT is slowly but surely building that card for Brooklyn. We've got number one contenders up and down the card now. We've got your number one contender for the men's championship in Drew Galloway, which will be fighting the glorious Bobby Roode. You're going to have Ember Moon challenging. Is this where Asuka loses?
Potentially, with we were talking. What was it last week?
I know
the
we're
week
talking
before,
about this a little early.
about
but I
a
just feel like
possible
we never talk
another
NXT.
possible superstar shakeup, and
Yeah.
this could be that time.
Did we
but
mention that on the show, or is that just in conversation with ourselves?
I'm pretty sure that was on the show.
There was definitely a rumor that went out a little while last week that sort of gained heat immediately and then went away. But there's definitely rumors that they're doing a superstar shakeup again, and this could be one of those times. I just don't want them to. I want them give it production. Make it like you're doing a thing.
Yeah, if that's what they end up doing. As far as Asuka's championship goes, she's going from what I understand, 2 days before Takeover, she's gonna be in the singles brackets of championships that's predating WWF.
Yeah.
Like after Takeover, if she still has that championship, the next possible milestones are way out of range.
Oh yeah,
those are the
women's title that Moolah had or something like that, or Mae Young, or whoever,
I think that's
6 years.
I think something like that, and then you got Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund for like 5 years.
It's Mae Young or Moolah. I'm pretty sure it's one of them, but she had the title.
I think it's Moolah.
Literally forever. It's like nobody else is allowed to have this. This is mine. And then like Hogan, Sammartino level numbers that you need to have thousands of days to even get close to. And they just don't do that anymore.
Did you want the? It's a little early. I don't have to give the card for.
Well, do we have a tag team number one contenders yet? It looks like they're building Sanity for that, right?
Yes.
It looks like we're going to get Sanity in the Bear and the Wolf guy.
Yeah, that
Killian Dade.
That is what it says there. It looks like it's going to be a
Killian
tag team
Dade
match.
and Alexander. I don't forget.
Alexander Wolf.
Alexander
right.
Wolf.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. You just have to sort of make Sanity faces, I guess, at that point, though.
Yeah, there would. You can do whatever. Do whatever you want.
Right.
I
just wish there was.
They
more...
kind of are because their last few. Not counting Heavy Machinery. The last time you saw.
Heavy Machinery.
The last time you saw.
I really don't like Heavy Machinery. It's nothing against them. It's just I can't.
You're just not into them.
Just not into them.
The last time you saw
all.
Authors of Pain, they just destroyed DIY, took the titles, told everyone to go fuck themselves, and so yeah, of course, Sanity is definitely the faces in this scenario.
I would, yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna. I just wish they would have. I wish we would know more about Sanity as a faction, or they would be doing more faction-y things. I don't know. It feels like them as a group doesn't really.
Eric Young hasn't been on TV
in a while.
And about a month.
I think he's hurt.
A little over
Isn't
a month.
Hurt?
But
he had like
some.
He had some shit that he was doing, but yeah. I don't know what else happens on that show. It looks like CN is finally getting his head out of his ass.
Yeah.
And who is that that he is with? Because good God, man. She is gorgeous, whoever she is. And she's starting to get into Yo Jose's face.
Formerly Tia Trinidad.
Sure.
She's got a new NXT name, but it's
wonderful.
Something Vega. I forgot it, but I was just like, yeah, more of her, please.
Yes.
More of her.
Yes. The two of them are going places. I'm excited that they seem to have figured out a thing to do with CN. He is partied enough. And now he's found a chick. It's like, no, if you keep partying like this, my gravy train is gone. So let's do this. You got to put some work in so we can both do this.
The last couple of weeks, you just seen her in the background, just smacking him, just hitting him, just kicking his ass, trying to getting him into shape for an actual push.
I like that.
It's a good story. It's fun. Like,
yeah.
Because I cared about CN, and now I'm like, oh, it's gonna be this chick calling all the shots. Oh. What a dick.
Well, that, and it's just she's going to also be that she's going to be a challenger herself. I think she is, right? She can wrestle, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Right now, it looks like a
build
like a manager role.
Build that into like the Spanish power couple, though. And then they can maybe at some point.
I haven't really introduced them as a couple,
but you know what I mean. Like he's obviously met her in his carousing, and then she turned out to be the one chick that's worth a damn, and she's trying to get his ass into gear.
It doesn't take any shit.
Right? Exactly. And she's that awesome, crazy Spanish chick that you don't cross, and if they're getting into a fight, you stay over there and don't get involved, because then she will turn on you and stab you in the neck for getting involved in somebody else's business. We've all seen it.
Yep.
At least we have. I know you have.
Everyone's seen or knows that one person.
Well, if you live in certain places in New York where that Spanish population is large, you know to stay out of those fights.
They will cut a bitch.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
like, get out of this fight. It's not your fight. What are you doing, madam? Oh my God, you're dead. Bye. I'm out of here.
Drew McIntyre beat Killian Dane.
Yeah, he
Gave him his first loss.
He wrestled a bear.
He wrestled a bear, and his reward, #1 contender.
Yeah, I'm. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be.
gonna be a
Where do you think?
great show.
Where do you think they go after Brooklyn? Because they're not doing. I don't think they're gonna do New York again after SummerSlam comes around.
Might be a little while.
Have you heard any news on that? I don't think anybody. I haven't heard any news stories. Seen any news stories?
I've
about
heard no rumors about possible locations after some. I tell you what, though, they could very well announce it at SummerSlam where they're going to be next year.
They should. That would be the place to do it because they usually do Mania. They usually announce it the next year.
I tell you what, if they do Chicago, I would love to make a trip out of it.
Absolutely. I think we'd be more likely to see Florida again, though.
Yeah,
Like a big arena in Florida or something like that.
that makes sense.
But I don't know because they've done L.A., they've done New York. They did L.A. for a
Couple years in a row, yeah.
time. And I think almost 5 years in a row. Wow. It was a long time they had in L.A. And everybody's like, can we not have it in L.A.
Can
anymore?
we go somewhere else?
Can we do the summer party in another place that's nice in this country? And they gave it to New York for a couple of years. So I'm curious. I would love to, if they do it Chicago.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Definitely not. Chicago would be really
Chicago
cool.
would definitely be cool.
I don't know if they would do it 3 years in a row, considering the capacities, but they would sell out every show.
Or
that's for sure.
Or you could try and sell out a stadium,
Stadium.
and really push.
Last
for
time they did a
warmer weather
stadium
climate.
that wasn't WrestleMania was Rumble.
This year,
And that did, I believe, that
pretty good.
did pretty well.
Did pretty well.
I'd be down for that.
You would just have to find the right location. It would have to be someplace like in Florida, but it wouldn't have to be one of those like big stadiums. It would have to be like one of the smaller ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like a little lesser than Rumble. Try and do like a 40-seater, a 40,000er instead of like a 60 or a 70 because
I hope they don't
summer.
I
Depending
just
on
hope
the
they don't
location, you
do
could
Texas because Texas is too hot.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to. Yeah, it's got to. It's gonna be.
The only problem with that is that it's almost too close to Mania
Yeah.
because it's only 5 months, right?
Well, no. SummerSlam in a stadium.
Well, I'm saying it's only a 5-month break from. It's about 6 months, so it's all right.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
No, because if you do it too close to Mania, then you have to worry about people's travel and all that stuff. It's like, all right, well, I just spent X amount of dollars just to do this WrestleMania thing, and now you want me to do it for summer?
I don't know. I mean, like, because I believe after last week's show, we had we had a conversation. And it was like, "Oh, did you hear about the Royal Rumble travel packages?
Yeah.
They're gone, and they're gone,
And they're gone.
then they're gone."
Yeah,
Once
man.
again, in Philly,
Rumbling in Philly is going to be pretty good, man. That whole weekend's going to be bananas. Do you have anything else?
I think we're coming to.
I'm hungry, is what it is.
Yeah, I'm starving too. There's a lot of G1 matches going on right now. A lot of people
when is G1's finishing very soon, right?
I don't
Next couple of weeks.
I believe it finishes
the
in
end
a
of the month?
couple of weeks.
So
End of the
we're
month.
getting there.
We're getting close to it. I keep getting here left and right. Oh, you got to see this. You got to see that. I'm like, yes, I know. The problem is there is so much to watch right
There's
now.
a lot of wrestling to have to watch right now.
So much goddamn wrestling to watch.
I applaud all of you out there that managed to watch most of the big WWE stuff, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, and the G1 things, because there's a lot of wrestling. Like the G1 match, the G1 sequences of most of these shows, you're getting like 6 to 8 matches a night just on the G1
You're getting
stuff.
3.5 to 4 hour shows every night. You tune into a G1 special with like
skip
2 or
the-
3 G1 matches.
Well, a little bit more than that, but I mean, you can, if you watch all of them, you're getting a lot of like every night. If you watch every night all the matches, it's 3 to 5 hours every show.
Lots of
That's
tags.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. I just can't do it. I got way too much shit on my plate right now. I just realized the other day I'm doing
You got shows to stream.
I'm
you got
doing
shows to cut
I'm
up.
doing shows now 5 days a week,
Damn right.
which is great because I'm not actually. I'm seeing something come back for the effort I'm putting fucking in. And it's nice for once.
Might actually pay me back for Chicago last
Maybe
year.
I might actually be able to do that at some point.
If you could do that, dude, then November will be booked. Just done. I'm looking into Airbnb because hotel situation is okay. However, holy crap, traveling in Illinois is the worst.
Interesting idea I want to sort of put out because the American football season is upon us
It's coming
very
up.
soon. A podcast football league. We do a little 8-team thing with some fans. You that knows nothing about football, me that knows something about football. And we just do it for fun.
From what I heard, because you would do multiple fantasy leagues every year, the last couple of years, there were people in those fantasy leagues who knew it's about as much, if not less, than what I know.
Liz knows
amazingly.
next to nothing, and she won our league. There is something that we will never be able to take away from our friend Liz, and that's the word fantasy football champion.
Yeah.
She won our second year. She beat her sister, who had the best record in the league that year. She beat Meg in an upset in the quarterfinals. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I've almost won 2 in that league. I won the first year. I had a terrible second year.
Football knowledge outside of injuries gets you diddly.
She sets up her lineup and she puts together a competitive team. But I don't think she didn't take it seriously last year, so we're going to have to push her out of that one.
Oh, okay.
But if you're interested, that's 2. We will have 2 podcast teams right there, myself and Dumbass over here. So we only need 5 more. No, 6 more.
6 more people. You too could be part of this enterprise with an introductory fee of $35.99.
No, there's nothing. No, we're not going to ask for money.
We're getting money
unless
we're
you
getting
guys
money out
want
of
to
this
throw
goddamn
money
thing.
into this, but we can do that later. But 8 to 10 people. If we can get 8 to 10 people, I think it'll be a real fun time. We'll talk shit to each other on Twitter and everything like that. We'll make a Discord chat room or something about that, and we could all just sling poo at each other on Sundays, and then have a fun little World Heavyweight Podcast Fantasy Football League, so we can spend our fall weekends together, right? And then we can use that chat room or something and go. I don't know.
Sounds good.
What? I think it's a good time. Don't look at me sideways
Let's
like that.
do it.
All right. At DWHPC on Twitter. Facebook.
I feel like Rusev after getting a couple belly suplexes. I'm exhausted. Out of it.
Facebook.com/World Heavyweight Podcast. Give us those reviews if you can subscribe on Stitcher, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever you got your podcast. Give us a nice little review. Help us out there. Google Play, Twitch, Instagram, all of the places. I'm Howie Farewell. That over there.
Josh Fair.
We'll see you next week.
Stadler?
Yeah, what?
Is that it?
Yes, it's over. How'd you like it?
I don't know. I slept through the whole thing.
Well, you didn't miss much.